humanitarian fund effort. And we do recognize that you are going through a challenging time, so are we. The third wave is far more serious and far more severe than the first two that we dealt with successfully. So we have to see how we can cooperate with each other dealing with this pandemic, because as I said earlier on in our talks, that nobody's safe till everyone is safe. The interdependence is so pronounced now, and we have to understand that. And that is why you have to play your role in getting vaccination out to the developing world. And thank you for being supportive on this initiative of additional providing 15 million doses to Pakistan by May, and COVAX, can play a very, very important role in that. So thank you for your support. We need vaccination. We have a country of 220 million people, and the vaccination that is the vaccine that is being inoculated is primarily the Chinese that we've got, and that is still not enough. So thank you for helping us. On FATF, thank you. Thank you for not allowing this forum to be politicized. It's a technical forum, and it has to address technical issues of money laundering, issues of terror financing, and thank you for being supportive. You do recognize what this government, what Pakistan has done on account of, meeting its political obligations vis-a-vis the FATF recommendations. I am grateful that Germany and the rest of the world do recognize the effort Pakistan has made. We have, as I said, lots of opportunities for German investments in Pakistan, for enhancing, promoting bilateral trade between us, and we should look at, and we will look at, those opportunities. Chancellor Merkel has done a great job representing her country so ably, and I am sure she would be recognized not just by the people of Germany, by history, for the role and for the stability and the growth this country had under her leadership. I know she is keen to meet Prime Minister Imran Khan, and she finds him as an interesting interlocutor, but the COVID is a big challenge, and hopefully, if things improve, they can have that meeting. And Prime Minister Imran Khan is equally keen to visit Germany and meet with the leadership over here. Thank you for being understanding on the visa issue and the delays that are being caused. And we did discuss how we can overcome the delays, by increasing staff and by doing things differently and more efficiently. We also discussed the role the diaspora, Pakistani diaspora, is playing in Germany, and how we can look at legal avenues of migration. It's an issue, I understand. It's not just a German issue, it's a European issue. And it has to be understood, and you have to see how do you deal with that. I have certain ideas which I shared with you, and we can look into them even further. Afghanistan. We've had a good discussion on Afghanistan. Our approach is very similar. Our objectives are identical. We want peace, we want stability, we want progress, we want prosperity there. We recognize Germany has played an important role in stabilizing the situation in Afghanistan. We also recognize that you value to protect the advancements made in the last 2 decades, and I'm with you on that. So we will remain in touch on the Afghan issue at every forum. If there is an Istanbul meeting and other processes, you do recognize that the Doha agreement was a step forward, and we need to build upon it, and that's what Pakistan has been advocating. So thank you for doing that. On the security situation, the peace and security situation in South Asia, I've shared my views. I have said that Pakistan has been keen in normalizing relations with India. We want to live in peace with all our neighbors, including India. We have issues, and those issues can only be resolved through dialogue. And for a meaningful dialogue to take place, we need a conducive environment. who has to create that conducive environment? In my view, India has to take the first step, because they took the first step on the 5th of August 2019 in vitiating the climate. Now they have to create an enabling climate, and if they do so, Pakistan would be receptive and Pakistan would be forthcoming. Thank you. There's a lot that can be discussed: economic relations, other corporations, but where I am, the positive view that I have, the positive vibe that I've felt, on this trip is that Pakistan and Germany can move ahead with speed. There's a lot that we can do for each other. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here.
Thank you very much. We have the opportunity for a few questions now, and the first question will be from Mr. Iftar Attab.
Thank you very much, Foreign Minister. First of all, congratulations for the 70 years of diplomatic relations. My question is that if we talk about the bilateral trade between Pakistan and Germany, the growth is not very rapidly fast if we compare to other regional countries doing trade with Germany. So Pakistan, however, offers a lot of conducive environment, new investment policies, but Germany haven't been able to take benefits of these investment opportunities. If we see China also investing in Pakistan immensely. So my question is why Germany is still a bit reluctant in terms of economic cooperation. Mr. Qureshi, if you can also comment to that.
Ja, das ist ja einer der Gründe, warum wir heute zusammen.
Well, this is one of the reasons we want to change. We believe that 35 German companies in Pakistan are too few. We would hope for more. German companies have the opportunity to receive government support if they invest abroad. We are going to discuss how German investments can be accompanied. Of course, stability in a country is important for investments. So questions like relations to India and Afghanistan play an important role, and we're happy that we had a constructive discussion about this today. The German government adopted Indo-Pacific guidelines a couple of months ago, and these guidelines say that we want to continue to build upon our commitment in the Indo-Pacific, and Pakistan is one of the countries that is of particular interest to us, and this is why this meeting today served this question: how can we actually accompany this political interest with and flank it with economic relations so that both sides can benefit from it. And this is why I assume that in the future we will tap into the potential that we have, and we will be able to use this potential more than in the past, just as the government actually said in its guidelines. That holds true for economic questions, but also for security political questions, overall political questions. And I'm happy that we were able to address these topics and made progress today in our meeting.
Thank you for your question. I did have a good discussion on this issue with the Foreign Minister. I did highlight the shift of policy in Pakistan, the shift from geopolitics to geoeconomics, the decision of the Foreign Office, of the Foreign Minister, to engage with other important countries like Germany and this economic diplomacy strategy of ours. I also shared the new incentives that we have put in place for German investors to come and invest in Pakistan, and the opportunities of bilateral trade. Pakistan can be the hub. We have a population of 220 million people. That's a large market, but you go beyond Pakistan. Pakistan into Central Asia. So there are great opportunities for Germany's trade and investment in Pakistan and beyond. I did also highlight certain areas where we feel that they have strength, Germany has strength, and we will benefit from. For example, the renewable energy sector, solar. There's no shortage of sunshine in Pakistan, and you have the technology to give us solar energy, which is environmental friendly. And the world is talking about climate change today. You've also talked about electric vehicles. We've just launched a new policy on electric vehicles. That's an area where you can step in and benefit. And both sides stand to gain from that. I talked about IT, tourism. Next month, we'll be launching a very comprehensive strategy on tourism. How are we opening our country, liberalizing our visas, letting people come into Pakistan and see what can be done? And you have, millions of tourists visiting, your country, and you have experience, you have expertise, you are knowledgeable. Help us in doing that. So there are great opportunities, and we've had a very good discussion on that.
Mr. Björn Stritzel will have the second question.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask the foreign minister. You mentioned the conflict between the nuclear powers, Pakistan and India. In the past week, you started renegotiating with another potentially a nuclear state in the region. Did you also address Iran with your Pakistani foreign minister? Because the neighboring states of Iran, this is being criticized that the neighboring states are not being involved in the negotiations. Could you update us on the negotiations, the state of affairs in Vienna, and give us an insight in how the discussions are taking place? And third, Iran is holding a woman from Cologne in hostage. Did you discuss this with your partners in Iran? And allow me to address a question to the Pakistani foreign minister. The German foreign minister said, you're not able to do sightseeing in Berlin. I would have liked to show you a mosque of the Mahdi Muslims in Berlin. Whenever I talk to them, we had a report, a big report about them. They all tell us because why they come to Germany, because they were being persecuted. The Ahmadis are not the only minorities in Pakistan. Christians suffer from laws, people from Baluchistan, which are cut off economic development. Could you tell us when all citizens in Pakistan enjoy the same rights? Allow me to begin on the consular case you mentioned. We actually are in contact with the authorities in Tehran. We hope to find a solution. We're trying to do this on the consular path and trying to do it informally, which is in the interest of the persons affected.
बर्लिन से बराह रास्त आप मुलाहजा कर रहे थे वज़ीर ख़ारजा शाह महमूद कुरैशी और जर्मन हम मनसब के हमरा मुश्तरका न्यूज़ कॉन्फ्रेंस। उनका कहना था कि पाकिस्तान जर्मनी के साथ नए इक़्तिसादी ताल्लुकात चाहता है। पाकिस्तान और जर्मनी सफारती ताल्लुकात को 70 साल हो गए हैं।